All right, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We've got a nice little slate here on a Monday, so we're going to talk about every game as always. And I got 4 best bets for you guys, so we'll go through all of those. A recap from yesterday: it was a Sunday. That was a proper Sunday right there. LOBs, man. We took 3 overs, and my God, the runners that were left on base were insane. Just couldn't buy a clutch hit. We had the Rays on the money line, both teams to score 2. This is the one where we actually got a clutch hit in the 9th. So we ended up cashing this at plus 135, which that worked out well. Tell me if you've ever done this, but I accidentally double bet this one. So that worked out well, thank God. We had the Mets on the money line, both teams to score 2. This was looking good. Mets popped off 2 right away, had runners in scoring position inning after inning after inning, and just couldn't get them in. I mean, unbelievably frustrating. Ended up blowing it in the bottom of the 8th in a 2-2 game. Reds and the Diamondbacks over 9. Reds showed up, D-backs did not. Singer, it's like 4 straight really good starts for him, so we're going to have to reevaluate that. We had the Cubs and the Angels over 9.5. It looked like the Angels were going to tie it at 4 in the 9th and just shit the bed. So that was looking pretty good for a while. And then the one that just cracked me up, Twins and the White Sox over 9. White Sox have 7 runs after 2 innings. 7. We need 2 more just for a push. And White Sox win 8-0. Twins could not, and they had plenty of runners on. They had like 10 or 11 left on base. So LOBs were flying yesterday on a Sunday, but hey, it is what it is. That's why we did half a units. Ultimately, we went down 1.3 units. Not the end of the world. We still had a fantastic weekend, so we'll take it. Don't love it, but it is what it is. Let's talk about Mondays now. Favorites have gotten schmacked. If you've taken every favorite over the course of the season, you're down almost 33 units. If you've taken every dog, you're up 10 units. The over has not been as generous as the under, but it's fairly evenly split. You're losing money either way. Home dogs have done really well. Since over the course of the season, they're up 12 units, but since the All-Star break, they've really done well. You're up 8.5 units just since the All-Star break here. Home teams are 36 and 29 post All-Star break. Obviously, away teams are 29 and 36. Mondays do gravitate towards the over, 64, 58, and 8 post All-Star break. Over the course of the season, 218, 186, and 16. So we do tend to get a lot more overs than unders on Mondays, but it's the dog day. Away dogs are up 4 units since the All-Star break. Like I said, home dogs up 8.38 units. So really kind of want to focus on some dogs here, but there's just too many. There's some good matchups where we got to take some favorites today. So let's delve into this card. First game kicking us off is going to be Boston and Baltimore. It's going to be a bullpen game for the Red Sox. I think Kyle Harrison's pitching, and I want to target him. I don't like him. I think we have some opportunities here. And it goes against, if you guys have watched my channel, it's a system play that I love, and it works out so often. Fade the team coming off Sunday Night Baseball. They just have a lackluster performance time and time again. Orioles are the best team at home on Mondays. They have not lost a game this season. They are 5-0 on Mondays. And when they're facing left-handed starters, which we're either going to get Brendan Bernardino or we're going to get Kyle Harrison, I think they're going to use an opener in Bernardino, who is a lefty. The Orioles have won 6 of their last 7 games versus a left-handed starter at home. So I like this spot here. Sugano's doesn't blow me away, right? He's not going to be impressive, but he's going to be decent. So give me the Orioles to win, both teams to score 2. It's one of my favorite bets. Now, the line's not out for this, so I don't know the odds. It's plus 100, just take the O's on the money line. So we're probably talking in the plus 180s here. So I love this. So that's going to be our first bet. Next game is going to be the Braves and the Marlins. This line just keeps moving towards the Marlins. Braves opened as a pretty good favorite. We're seeing this line come all the way down to a pick'em. We can see opened at minus 125 and now it's down to a pick'em. We get Strider going up against Cabrera. Now the Braves on the road in a divisional series. First game of the series, they're 1-4 this season. Not great. Spencer Strider's on a real bad regression train. But if we look at the Marlins, when they come off a win in the last game of a series at home and then they follow that with another one, they got a pretty good losing record here. So they are 6-9 in this spot, and they've lost their last 3 games in this situation. Cabrera definitely saw some regression last start. Came out of the All-Star break nice with 2 wins, and he just looked awful in his last start. I kind of feel like we should just take the over in this spot. It's Braves or the over for me, but man, I don't know if I trust this Marlins team to hit. I think Strider should be able to do well against this, let's be honest, pretty much a AAA lineup for the most part. But man, his splits are bad last 30 days. 418 average to lefties, 375 to righties, elevated hard hit percentage. It's scary. It's got almost a 6 ERA on the road, whereas Cabrera's got about a 3 ERA at home. But it's Braves or nothing for me. I've got this 4.25 to 4.11 in terms of the Braves. So, like I said, I do have that over 8 hitting. Next game is going to be Tampa Bay and Cleveland. Tanner Bybee on the bump against a bullpen day for the Rays. I think they'll probably start Ian Seymour. He's a lefty. It makes sense. This is a very left-handed dominant team. In the Guardians, not hitting well. Lefty on lefty as well. And this is a Rays team that's starting to wake up a little bit with the bats. Junior Caminero is really starting to smack some homers out there. Bybee is 7-3 at home, and he's won his last 3, and he's 2-0 in the first game of a series. But Cleveland as a whole on Mondays at home, losing record at 3-4. Value here, in my opinion, is on the Rays. I don't trust Bybee, and this is too much to pay for a Guardians team that just frankly hasn't been getting it done offensively. I didn't want to touch this game. This is really the only game with a pretty damn decent rain chance today. So we got a 52% chance of rain. It's going to be 69 degrees with the wind blowing in. So slightly in from left. To me, I don't love this spot here with the rain. The only thing that scares me is the Guardians do have a pretty stout bullpen. That said, Rays bullpen's been good, but I don't really like their usage lately. So like I said, Rays or nothing for me. Next game is going to be Washington and New York. How about those Yankees last night? I did end up betting Sunday Night Baseball. Man, it was very fruitful. Quite fruitful. So I think I had Yankees race to 3, Yankees race to 4. Had the Yankees first 5 minus a half. So that was positive. That was a day saver right there. So ended up going up units instead of down a little bit. Brad Lord going up against Cam Schlittler. I've liked the way Brad Lord has looked until his last outing where he got absolutely rocked. And Schlittler is trending in a great direction. He's been pitching very well, but this is a Nationals team where I don't love his pitch mix today. Nationals do very well against the fastball, slider, and curveball, and those are the only thing that Schlittler throws. Nationals are top 5 in all of those categories. But we saw the Yankees wake up a little bit. Wind is going to be blowing straight out at Yankee Stadium tonight. Man, you got to think Judges do after a bad night last night. Jazz Chisholm, 2 home runs. Grisham had 2 home runs. It was cool to watch, and we get better wind tonight. The ball should be flying out of the park. Now, the Yankees have won 7 of their last 10 non-divisional games at home in the first game. So they got a good trend going there. Nationals have lost 5 of their last 6 on the road in the first game of a series, but their last win did come with Brad Lord pitching. Now, what I like here is the over. I will tell you, the Nationals have a great track record against guys with a whip above 1.3. Schlittler's at 1.32. Nationals on the road this season in that scenario are 8-3, but they are 20-5 towards the over. So give me the Yankees Nationals over. I don't mind Nationals team total over 3.5 at plus 100 as well. I do think that's on the books here with the way this wind's going to be blowing out tonight. And this is a Nationals team that is hitting very well. They are a top 5 lineup over the last 2 weeks. They have been getting it done with the sticks. They just have no bullpen. So you have the 26th and 27th ranked bullpens going up against each other. We did see Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, all of them went last night. So I like this spot here for a nice little over with the wind blowing out. So give me the over. There is value taking the Nats here at this price, but you can get Nats plus 1.5 at plus 100 right now. So that was another thing I looked at as well. Let's see. We've got Minnesota and Toronto. Joe Ryan going up against Max Scherzer. Can we trust this Twins team after they couldn't score runs with the wind blowing out yesterday? I mean, yeah, you got Joe Ryan on the mound, but the Blue Jays post All-Star break at home have been really hot. They're 10-5. I trust Scherzer here. I don't want to pay this price is really all it comes down to. This bullpen for the Blue Jays has been very sus, so I don't love that. Maybe a Blue Jays first 5 run line, but man, that's a little risky with Joe Ryan. I mean, he is the coveted piece here, and we do want to take advantage of this really bad Twins bullpen. So it would be Toronto -1 ultimately would be the way I would go in this one. That way we bring in the push potential. Let's see. Let's do Philly and the Mets. Great pitching matchup today. Christopher Sanchez versus Kodai Senga. It is a battle of the NL East. Phillies in first, Mets in second. As a Reds fan, I need the Phillies to just go ham and whoop that ass. And then hope the Reds can just find a way to do well in Dodgers against the Dodgers. But Senga's been really good at home. He's 8-2 at home, 3-7 towards the over and the under. Phillies are 11-10 on the road in divisional games. We saw this matchup. Sanchez pitched against the Mets earlier in the year, very early in the year. I think it was like April 22nd, if I remember right. They ended up losing this game 5-1 to the Mets. But a lot of things have changed. This Mets team's very sporadic right now. Did lose that last game in Atlanta. Now they got to travel back home. 5-5 in their last 10. This is a Phillies team that's 7-3, won their last 2. 2 games above 500 on the road against the Mets, who are 17 games above 500 at home. But man, I love this spot for Sanchez here. I think he gets the job done. But what I'm going to do here is we're going to take the Nerfy at a very affordable price of -125. We do have the wind that's going to be kind of blowing in and blowing out at times from left field, 80 degrees. But man, I love the Nerfy here in this spot. So give me the Nerfy -125, and Phillies would be my lean for the winner. Eduardo Rodriguez going up against Brandon Woodruff. Now, Woodruff was supposed to start yesterday. Got pushed for Chad Patrick. This is one. You got the Brewers coming off back-to-back losses against the Giants. Bullpen kind of blew it there at the end. It was looking like a Brew Crew win, and then it wasn't. Now you get Eduardo Rodriguez, and this is a Brew Crew team that over the past week struggled a little bit against lefties, only hitting 208. Now over the last 2 weeks, hitting really well at 270. You got a D-backs team, cooled off yesterday. Now they got to hit the road, travel all the way to Milwaukee. I don't love that spot for them, but I can't pay this price for the Brewers. I think Woodruff, we're seeing a little, maybe a baby amount of regression. I still think he pitches fairly well against this team, but can't really get behind Rodriguez on the road. That said, he's been better on the road. He's got his like 7-something ERA on the road down to 5.14. But his splits are still awful. 333 to lefties, 254 to righties over the last 30 days. Reduced K rate, but he's done a better job keeping the hard hit percentage down. So kind of a tricky one here. I think D-backs +1.5 would be the only way I would play this. Next game is going to be the Royals and the White Sox. Now, this is a White Sox team. 8-9 at home versus a lefty, but they've lost 3 of their last 5 with a lefty starting. And this is a Royals team that is 19-9 on the road when they face a starting pitcher with a whip above 1.25. Shane Smith, 1.29 whip, 3-7 on the season. Got almost a 4 ERA at home. Now, as a White Sox team that we've seen streaks of them really hitting lefties well. They just go on these sporadic streaks, but all the runs they put up against the Twins, I like to fade them here. So give me the Royals on the money line as a best bet. Huge series for the Royals. This is a chance for them to gain ground in the wild card because right now they are 4 or 5 games back in the wild card. So huge series for them that frankly they have to sweep. We are coming down to 30 games. Most teams have 31 games, but several teams do have 30 games left. So we're getting down to the wire here, the nitty gritty, the push time. So give me the Royals on the money line in this spot. You can get that at -134 on FanDuel. So that'll be one of our best bets. Next game is going to be the Pirates and the Cardinals. It's a pretty insane price to pay with McGreevy at home. He has not looked good. He's got a 5.18 ERA and 6 home starts. Splits are pretty bad. 321 to lefties, 281 to righties. This Pirates team predominantly right-handed here. He's only got a 13% K rate, but do I really want to back Johan Aviado? No, I haven't seen enough out of him. Yeah, he's 1-0. He's kind of one good start, one not. He's only got 6 innings under his belt. Does have 9 Ks though. So this is a spot. It would be Pirates or nothing for me. Probably focus on the first 5. I don't really want to touch this Pirates pin that's got a 4.64 ERA and ranked 24th. 2 teams that do not score in the first inning. This is the 3rd ranked team, and the Cardinals only score 23% of the time against the Pirates that are ranked 5th at about 26% of the time. So I think the Nerfy is alive in this one. Just not. I don't want to touch it with these pitchers personally. But I do think it's live, especially with the wind blowing in from left field, kind of left center. We get an over-under of 8. That's pretty telling to me, giving it's McGreevy. But yeah, can't get behind this Cardinals team at this price. Too high, in my opinion. All right, next one is going to be the Angels and the Rangers. It's going to be Jose Soriano going up against Jacob deGrom. Now, deGrom's already faced this team multiple times this season, so I don't love that spot, but deGrom at home is 9-3 on the season, but Soriano has done very well on the road. The Angels are 8-4 on the road when he pitches. They're 2-0 since the All-Star break. Value here is on the Angels, like it or not. That's where the value's at. But man, this is an Angels team that's just sucked with the sticks. But sometimes we've seen it over the course of this season. When the Angels are at home, they can't score. They hit the road, all of a sudden they become the best team in baseball. Very similar to the Mariners. 2 teams on the West Coast that just love to do that. So like I said, it would be Angels or nothing for me at this price. I doubt I get to the window with it, but it's the only way I would play it personally. All right, 3 games left. We've got the Padres and the Mariners. It's JP Sears going up against Bryce Miller. Now, the Mariners this season are 9-6 at home when they face a left-handed starter, but they've won 4 of their last 5 games. However, you get Bryce Miller on the other side, and he has not looked good. This is a Padres team that was kind of on a roll there in that series against the Dodgers, but they're still only 5-5 in their last 10, but the Mariners are 3-7 in their last 10, including the win that they had yesterday. It's a Padres bullpen that's just pretty badass. 1.99 ERA over the last 30 days and just absolutely stellar. Against a Mariners team that's not bad either bullpen-wise. They're ranked 7th, but God, this Mariners splits against lefties are hideous. They're struggling to hit them. But I can't get behind JP Sears. Last 30-day splits, 571 average to lefties, 215 to righties. I mean, they traded for JP Sears, and then they optioned him down to the minors, brought him back up. It would be, it's such a tricky call in this one. I'll be honest. Over 8 is the only way I would play this. I just hate it with 2 really good bullpens. But I got to lean Mariners here. I can't back JP Sears. And Bryce Miller is better at home than he is away, typically. It hasn't really been the case this season. Both of these guys have a 5 ERA. It's just an ugly game. Very, very ugly game. Tigers and the A's, Tariq Skubal going up against JT Ginn. I thought Ginn looked pretty good in his last outing. He looked really good, actually. But splits, he struggles against lefties. There's some lefties that can hammer you. He's decent against righties. Skubal is Skubal. You kind of know what you're going to get. Unlikely he has like a disastrous blow-up start. This is an athletics team that over the last week against lefties have been striking out at a ridiculously high clip, like 32% clip, but only 21% over the last 2 weeks. But there's just no value here. It's Tigers on the run line or nothing. In terms of the weather, wind is blowing out at like between 12 and 8 miles an hour. It's going to be 90 degrees, so there should be a pretty good amount of pop in this ball today. Humidity is going to be really low. Pressure is going to be low, so carry is going to be very nice. We get an over-under of 9. It's a tricky one. That is a tricky game for sure. I think the Tigers ultimately win. Do I want to take them on the run line? Not really. It's an A's bullpen that's been fantastic somehow lately. This is the 2nd-ranked bullpen in baseball, so value's on taking the A's. Like it or love it. That is where the value's at. A's on the run line maybe, but Don't want to touch it. And then the last game on the cards, Reds and the Dodgers. Hunter Green going up against Emmett Sheehan. Obviously, the Reds have the pitching advantage. I don't think you can argue that. Bullpens are fairly evenly matched. Hunter Green's look good since coming back from injury. This is one where he does have a little bit of a history with the Dodgers, and it's not good. He's 1-3 against the Dodgers, 0-2 at Dodger Stadium. Now, the Dodgers, when they face a starting pitcher with a whip below 1, which Hunter Green has a .93 whip, which is amazing, they have a losing record. They're 10-12, and they're 6-9 in their last 15. I can see the Reds winning this 100%. Plus 130 is worth a stab. Maybe Reds first 5 with Hunter Green on the bump, but that's probably some bias talking there. But in terms of the weather, wind's going to be blowing out, so home runs are up, which does scare me. Just because Hunter Green's supplying the speed, all they got to do is make contact. And this is a Dodgers team that can really just outbang the Reds in terms of power. We know what they're capable of. They had a nice little offensive explosion yesterday in San Diego. It's really hard to not back the Dodgers at this price, I'll be honest. They're the better home team. I know it's minus 140, but this is a Reds team that you just can't trust them. But I think we got a pretty low-scoring affair here in terms of the over-under. So it'd be first 5 under for me. I think Green's able to somewhat keep this team in check. I think Sheehan does a decent enough job to keep the Reds off balance, and then they'll kill themselves a little bit too. All right, let's get into our best bets, get you guys on your way. Appreciate you tuning in to the channel. So 4 best bets today that we will talk about. So first best bet is going to be the Orioles on the money line, both teams to score 2+. Like I said, they haven't put this line out yet on BetMGM, but it is 100% a spot that I am going to take. It looks like they are starting to unleash more lines here, so you can do first plate appearance now. So it'll probably be coming out soon. But like I said, I will take that. That'll be, I'm guessing, plus 170 or more. Nationals and the Yankees over 9. We already talked about it. Lord had some good regression in his last start. Nationals hit Schlittler's pitch mix very well. And they're 20-5 towards the over with a whip above where Schlittler's at. And then we're going to take the Phillies and the Mets. We're going to do a Nerfy. We've been pretty good on Nerfies this year. We don't play them often, but this is a spot I think we should strike. And then we're going to take the Royals on the money line against the White Sox. So those are the 4 best bets. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video.